Hi guys.
Hey guys.
It's time for another review of Heroes Reborn, this time reviewing Chapter 3 titled Under the Mask. Now, if you haven't seen the episode and you want to avoid any spoilers, you're going to want to skip this video and come back later because everything we say from this point forward is going to be a spoiler. Okay, clearly the title of the episode totally is in reference to the masked hero in Los Angeles.
Yes. And Carlos is, he's taken over the mask, and he's not an Evo. And he goes after a guy that he assumes is also not an Evo, because this guy is trying to take down, like, the Evo Underground Railroad. And, the guy's totally an Evo.
Yeah. And he's got, like, super strength. He's throwing Carlos through walls and stuff. And so I gotta ask, what is his motivation? Is he just like a bounty hunter who's trying, being paid and he's just in it for the money? Or does he have some other motivations? And that actor, he always plays this kind of character. He was in Orphan Black, where he played like a villain, and then he was a good guy, and then he was a villain. He's just kind of back and forth, and he's totally playing a villain here, at least so far as we know. He looks very villainous.
Yeah. But who knows?
But that particular actor seems very typecast.
Yeah.
But the major development in the episode was, of course, Epic. Epic goes online. They're using Molly's ability to locate every Evo in the world, to basically locate the undocumented Evos.
Yeah, what struck me in this is it's very X-Men-like, as in the Evos have to register that they're Evos. And so, we don't have a whole lot of insight into Epic. She's doing a press release and a demonstration of it. It seems like the device is being marketed for military and police to locate unregistered Evos. But we really have no idea, because it's just a generic press release, kind of announcement of tech.
Right.
With demonstration. We don't have any insight into who is in the audience and who it's marketed for and stuff, except for a very small mention that it is being tested in the field by military personnel. That's all we get.
Which is actually kind of a lie, because Molly went online right before the press release. Mm-hmm. And she is the integral piece to the technology. So it can't have been being field tested.
No, I think it's referring to, it is at that exact moment being field tested to catch the two Evos that are in
the Arctic.
The Arctic somewhere. I'm sure it flashed across the screen at some point, but
I'm pretty sure it was the Arctic.
I mean, she's taking down the storms and I guess turning them into the northern lights, which is why they're being seen very far south. That's kind of what we've gotten from that Evo.
And Epic, of course, that was never really supposed to have gone online. That was like the big plan, according to the Haitian, was Epic can't go online. But now it has. So that is apparently going to steer the world toward some catastrophe.
Yeah.
Other interesting things from this episode, Miko is my favorite character, I think, by far.
Yeah, she's pretty cool.
And she gets Harris doesn't really get a chance to interrogate her because Ren busts in and she grabs Harris's
butcher knife
and cuts his hand off. And Harris, in a total reference to Doctor Who, he regenerates his hand, but then his hand regenerates into another Harris.
So I got the same thing. I was like, oh, Doctor Who!
So, how many Harrises are there out there? It seems like there's at least 3.
Well, I think there's 2, and I think next episode we're going to get the third one. Because from the beginning, they announced, like, in the bottom, the little caption, it said Harris Prime. Mm-hmm. And then when his hand regenerated, it said Harris Clone. So I'm thinking that's the first one, but I don't know. There's definitely going to be 3 of him because there's 3 in the preview. Right. So
Overall, I did really enjoy the episode. I did have one major problem with one scene, though. The scene where Noah is trying to rescue Molly, and she's like, "Stay away from me. I can't go with you. You don't understand the scope of everything that's going on." And she runs away. Like, come on. Like, you're going to escape, really, with no help and handcuffed? And of course, she turns the corner and runs right into Harris and gets captured. And just the level of stupidity that shows from Molly.
Yeah, the same. Like, it doesn't matter what the overall plan is. Noah has no idea. He's had his memory wiped. Molly should have utilized Noah to escape, and then as soon as she escaped that situation, then escape Noah.
Yeah.
Because with Noah having no memory, she has the advantage in that situation. She should have utilized that instead of allowing this epic technology to go live, because she had to know what it was. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been running from it.
And she's handcuffed. I mean, she presumably doesn't know her way around the facility, so she's just running basically kind of blindly, not really knowing how to get out. And of course, she gets captured again. And I don't know, that kind of, to me, it reflects some poor writing.
Yeah, that was kind of sloppy. I think they could have done it better, because obviously she had to be captured for Epic to go online. But I think it could have been written a little bit better.
And of course, we find out that Miko's sword is Hero's sword. So what was her dad doing with it, first of all, and what happened to it that makes it the key to getting into the video game?
Yeah, that's interesting.
And, I mean, that's all triggered by the sword. So is Miko an Evo, or is it just this item that, gives her the ability? Or is it something that triggers her ability to transport into a simulation?
Yeah, because nobody else has opened the sword, so we don't know if the sword does it or if she does it. Because it's Heroes, we have to assume that it's her, but it would be interesting to find or hear a little bit more of the backstory on that.
And hopefully, it does seem like Hero's coming back next episode. I was hoping we're going to get him in this episode.
Yeah.
Because he is by far my favorite character in all of Heroes. And Tommy, from the premiere, it seemed like he was going to be the central character of the series. But he was barely in this episode. He didn't even show up until 38 minutes into it.
Yeah, but his story has taken an interesting twist. And I like that they have him, because it's what would an Evo go through if they, got their ability during puberty, because he's totally caving under peer pressure. I mean, two people know about it, and he's helped he helped the one, and the other one is just fascinated by him.
Yeah.
So they're not going to tell his secret, but Brian is totally using him, using his ability. I mean, obviously they went shopping, and he teleported a bunch of beer back to Brian's house for his party. So I have a feeling that Brian is going to compromise him in some way.
I agree with that. I think that's totally going to happen. The other thing that was interesting about Tommy's story is his mom confronts Tommy's guardian, his protector, and she's like, "Who are you?" Blah, blah, blah. And the guy goes, he's like,
Yeah, so that's...
So what's going... Has she had her memory wiped, and maybe the Haitian got a hold of her? Or Tommy's guardian actually has that ability, too, to wipe somebody's memory. So I get the feeling that she has struck a deal with whatever organization or entity Tommy's guardian works for, and he has wiped her memory.
And I think for some reason they want him to stay where he's at, because he did not teleport Brian's dad like Brian asked him to. But his guardian did something because his dad was gone, and Brian thinks he teleported him. So obviously he's supposed to stay in this area for whatever reason.
And finally, Luke. I had a feeling he was an Evo and his powers just hadn't manifested yet, even though he is an adult. But his wife, Joanna, is bent on slaughtering every Evo there is. So what's going to happen when she finds out that her husband has powers?
Now, I just watched the first one probably about an hour or two before this one, because I was at work last time. And I don't remember if it was last episode or this episode, but there was like one line of dialogue that said that Evos are coming up a lot more frequently, and that it has to do with a choice that you make. Like, in a certain situation, there's a choice that you make, and that has to do with becoming an Evo. So what choice did he make that made him become an Evo? Because I have to assume that that's what that line of dialogue was referring to.
And his power is really interesting. His body generates a lot of heat, and it seems like it's solar powered.
Yeah, it does. It seems like when he's out in the sun, he absorbs it, and then...
And in the original Heroes, there was a character who could, when he was stressed out, he would, explode, basically. And that was what the whole, save the cheerleader, save the world, was Sylar was trying to get that power and use it to destroy the world, basically. The effects of Luke's power seem to be similar to that power. I don't know if he just generates extreme heat, or if he gets too hot, is he going to explode? And of course, they were present for the explosion on June 13th. What was the explosion? Was it Luke? That's totally just me saying something that just popped into my head. I don't know. It's just something out there. Let's talk about it in the comments. Okay, and I think that's pretty much everything. If we missed anything, if there's anything you think we should have talked about, let us know in the comments and we can discuss it down there. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please let us know by clicking that like button and subscribe for more reviews.
And thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.